everybody. It's Monday again, and today is January 28th. Today is going to be a grid workers update, and I say that because it looks like it's time to start doing some pretty intense grid work again. And normally when we do grid work, it's because there is some event that's going to come about in the next year or two, and we need to prepare for that event. So for those of you who are not familiar with grid work, let me just explain for a moment what that is. Grid work is an energetic process by which we create energetic lines from one location, one physical location, to another. For example, back in 1996 when I did my first Estes Park workshop and conference at the Starr Knowledge, I was told that I was laying grid lines between Kansas City and Estes Park, and that these energetic grid lines would be used in the future for helping the planet through some major event. Lo and behold, that event came in 2001 with 9/11. And I was not the only one who was doing grid work back then. There's a lot of people who were called to do grid work, and we basically created a web of compassion around the world. It's like creating a big spider web or grid of energy that, and the energy is a higher frequency energy because the consciousness of the people was higher than the average human. So it created an energetic, oh, there's my cat in the background, that's Lily. It created an energetic grid line or web around the planet of higher consciousness that enabled humanity to tap into that consciousness when they needed to, in order to create a different choice, to respond in a different manner than they had in the past. And using that example again, instead of doing what we did at Pearl Harbor, which was pretty much a unanimous, oh, let's go after them, and we're the victims, let's seek revenge. Enough of us stepped back and said, okay, how did we co-create the event? We began to take responsibility and ask ourselves what we did to create it, which is a much more evolved response to an event like that. So we weren't as pulled in by the drama as we would have been in the past. And enough people said, well, wait a minute, maybe there's another angle here, and let's take a look and not just do what the government says that we're supposed to be doing, which was going after the terrorists. So enough people started to investigate the event as their response rather than just immediately seek revenge. So it appears there's going to be some kind of event coming in the next 2 years, and we're going to begin grid work in earnest for that event. And of course our consciousness has shifted a lot since 2001, so we're creating like an overlay, a new electromagnetic grid or web that's an overlay to the existing ones to enable us to make an even more evolved and integrated and compassionate response. What I know right now is that this it could be a series of events that occur in the next 2 years that we're working to change, and my only way of knowing where they are is by where I'm guided to go to do workshops, because the people who will come to those workshops will be destined to be part of their mission is to help with creating whatever anchor points or templates need to be created in those areas. One that I know of is, I know it's supposed to go to Minneapolis. There's something that's going to be going on there. I don't know what it is. It's beyond the collapse of the bridge that occurred there last year. It's more than that. There's something there, and we need to go and do some anchoring and anchor a higher consciousness in that area. Another area I believe is Los Angeles, the Laguna Hills area. Between San Diego and LA. There's something that's going to be going on there. Well, we know that there's an event that's supposed to happen around 2009. That is the current probable projected time, and that will be the inundation of the Southern California coast. But we're already working toward changing that so that that doesn't happen. And I talked about that in the 2005 and beyond workshops, which have a lot of the the 2012 information in them, because it was about from 2005 to 2012. and I discussed those different events that would be going on between that point and 2012, and you can find those in the Mission Remembered package. But I'm going to be doing a countdown to 2012 workshop in Laguna Hills in March, and if that comes off, then I know that is definitely someplace that we're going to have to be anchoring. Another one that I feel very strongly about is San Francisco. Events have occurred to where I'm going to be able to go up there and do a conference, and draw a lot of people in that area so there's something that's going to be going on there. I don't know where else it's going to be. A lot of it is determined by who contacts me to sponsor a workshop in their area, a Countdown to 2012 workshop, or an emotional clearing workshop. So for those of you who are grid workers, just know that we're going to be doing some major work now in the next, I'd say in the next 90 days to the next six to 9 months actually. So don't be surprised if you're feeling guided to travel to different locations without any idea as to why you're supposed to go there. But if the people and the money and the opportunity all come together simultaneously to get you there, then you know you're supposed to be there to do some kind of anchoring. And so I guess that's it. That's today's update. And for those of you who want to go to the Minneapolis workshop, it was supposed to have been in February, but now I know why it wasn't supposed to be in February. It makes sense now. And it's being moved to April 5th and 6th. And the one in Laguna Hills is going to be March 1st and 2nd. You can find the flyers on the website. And I will talk to you again next week. So let's see how this grid work goes. Take care. Bye.